What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new here, my name is James, and I like to talk about web development. I like to talk a lot about Etch. I like to talk about automatic CSS. These are plugins for WordPress. And today we're going to be talking about Etch. Not really looking into automatic CSS today. I kind of already did most of the actual styling of what we're doing. What we're going to be taking a look at today is creating a loop and then creating a loop inside that loop, because there's some data that we need to loop through, and then there's data within each of those data points that needs to be looped through. And I actually just did this in a previous video, but it was a longer video. It was the part 2 of rebuilding my old agency website. And towards the end of that video, I had to do basically the same thing that we're about to do in this video. Created a loop and then created a loop inside the loop. So this video is going to be more focused. It's going to be literally doing that specific task. So, because I think it's an important thing to know how to do, and it's just a really good, it's a good example of why I like using Etch and how it makes things, easy. I honestly don't know how. I think I could maybe pull this off in Themify, which is the builder that I used to use. I have no idea how one would go about accomplishing this in Gutenberg. I'm sure you could do it in Elementor, whatever, but I'm going to show you how to do it in Etch. So the site that we're working on today is jameswelbis.com. This is still under construction. I'm trying to get this finished up. This website was designed by somebody on Fiverr, and I actually don't hate it. I'll be honest. That's why I'm using it. If I hated it, I wouldn't be using it, but I'm using it. So it's decent. We did some pretty cool things on this build, and I showed some of it on my channel. This carousel, it's kind of neat. I just realized that I lose my little shadow when I click on that button. I'll have to fix that at some point. But this website has this carousel. This is using ACSS content grid to get this sort of layout where it starts within the content grid over here, but then it goes all the way to the edge of the screen over there. We created a component for these headings. So we can drop a heading and we can choose if we want it centered or left aligned. We can choose if we want to have this pill up here or not. As you can see, we don't always. So here we have a left align. We do have a pill. Here we have left align, no pill. This is a component. So we did some cool stuff on this website, some cool Etch things, showcasing what Etch can do. And today we're going to be creating this area. I've already created it statically. As you can see, these are duplicate content here. This is basically going to be my resume. And so we're going to have job title, company I worked at, when I worked there, kind of a 1-sentence description of what I did there, and then a list of things I did while I was there, right? And so this is going to be the loop. We're going to loop through each of these experiences is going to be a post type. And we're going to loop through that. But then within each one, we're going to loop through these items. And this is going to be a custom field, a repeater field. So we're going to have a loop within a loop. And hopefully I can pull this off without any hiccups, considering I literally just did it. It shouldn't be that hard. Now, what post type plugin am I working with? Okay, good. I wasn't sure because I built this site a little bit, not a long time ago, but I wasn't sure if I was using Advanced Custom Fields still or ACPT. I recently switched from Advanced Custom Fields to ACPT. Did I say that right? I don't know. Because ACPT had a very affordable lifetime license. ACPT.io. If you guys want to check it out, looks like there's currently a 20% discount, so jump on that. I don't like this particular part of their website, but this is what I don't even remember which one I did because I don't know the difference. Somewhere it probably explains it. Oh, here it is. For 5 sites, or, yep, I got this one. So and I think I even paid less than this. I think they might have been running a deal, but even so, $200 is a pretty good deal for unlimited sites, and that's a one-time payment, not annual, right? So I jumped on this because ACF doesn't have a lifetime deal like this. I have a plan with them that gives me like 10 sites or something, but I have to pay for that annually. So, yeah, I bought this and I've used it a couple times and I like it. It does what I need to do. So, what have I done already with this site? So these are like the default post types that just come with WordPress. And then these are all the ones that I created. Yeah, so these are for my sort of my portfolio. So plugins that I've created, products I've worked on, projects I've done, videos that I've created, and websites that I've built. So we're going to create a new custom post type for my experience. So what would I call that? Probably just experience, I think, because that's what it is. Each one is a unique experience I had somewhere. So let's register a new post type. We're going to call it experiences. What do we need? We need custom fields, thumbnail, title. That should be really all we need. This field is mandatory. Oh yeah, it makes you choose an icon. Whatever. What's a good icon for resume experience? I'll tell you what a good icon is. Who cares? Let's go with this beer. We're doing a beer. Next step. Okay, these are all, I'm just going to leave those the same. And I think I'm going to leave all this the same as well. It has an archive. I guess we can let it have an archive. I don't want it to have an archive. All right, save. We got ourselves a custom post type, y'all. Now we need a custom field. So what custom fields do we need? Well, let's take a look at what we have. So my initial thought was the title of each one could be my job title. However, that could be a problem if I ever have another job that had the same job title, right? What if I get another job somewhere as product owner? Then that's going to be a conflict. The lazy route would be I could make this whole thing right here the title. That would be, I don't know how I would bold this. I don't know if you can just drop HTML in the title of a post. If you can, I could just drop strong tags around this and make that bold. So the other, probably what I'll do is I won't even use the title of each post. I'll have a custom field for job title, custom field for name of company, custom field for the dates. Could have a custom field for the short description, and then this is going to be a repeater field. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's come back here to ACPT, field groups, create new meta group, and this part of ACPT confuses me. So we'll come up here to edit the group name, and this is going to be experience fields. Display as location. So this is where we're going to say post type is equal to experiences. And then a meta box. This is a little different from ACF. You don't have to do this in ACF, but in ACPT, it makes you create a meta box. I'm going to create a meta box, and it's going to feel redundant. I'm going to name it experience fields. Same thing I named the whole freaking group. That's what we're doing. I think I might have to change this to underscores. Etch doesn't like dashes. Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to allow me to have the same exact, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure this is how I did it in the past. So now for field, what did we say? We have, job title. Ugh, this is going to be annoying, man. Etch doesn't like dashes. So if you do stuff with dashes, you get error messages and it gives you a scary message that I think means like it's just not going to work at some point. There's going to be an update to Etch. And if you're using dashes, your stuff's going to break, I think. So yeah, change everything to underscores. Text field, yeah, brief description, don't need that. Job title, all right. Add field. We're going to do another one called company. Text. Going to do another one. Date. Yeah, just a text field is fine. And then this next field is going to be, we're going to call it duties. And it's going to be a repeater field, which is in here somewhere, I swear. Where is it? Repeater, there it is. So then repeater fields have children, and it's just going to be text. This is going to be duty singular. So duties is all the different duties, and then each duty is just a text field. And I think we can save now. Did that work? Yep, metagroup settings successfully saved. So let's try adding one. I'm going to, what am I going to do? I had my resume pulled up somewhere. Yeah. I'm going to bring this over to this other screen so I can just easily copy and paste stuff. So add a new experience. And the job title doesn't really matter. I'm not using it on the front end. So this is just for me in the back end. So I'm just going to say product owner, Stellar WP. Not even going to use the content, not going to use featured image, not going to use excerpt. I'm just going to come down here. Job title, product owner, company, Stellar WP. Technically, it's Liquid Web. Date, about 3 years and 7 months, I think. And then my duties. I'm going to click Add Duties. Add Duties, Add Duties. And I'm just going to copy and paste. Here's one. There's another one. And there's another one. And we're going to publish. Now, there is something we have to, well, I've already done it, obviously, since I'm already using this. But just so you know, if you're planning on using ACPT with Etch, there is something you have to do. See if I can find it. Yeah. So basically, there's a file in Etch, and you just have to download this file, and you have to replace this one file in Etch with this file that you download. You do that, doesn't break anything, doesn't change anything. All it does is it makes it so you can use ACPT with Etch. I'm assuming at some point, and I think this is on Etch to do, Etch will update in such a way that you don't have to do this anymore to use ACPT, because it already supports advanced custom fields and what's that other popular one, Metabox and Jet Engine. Like, it supports several of these plugins out of the box. For whatever reason, it doesn't support ACPT yet, but I'm almost certain that I've seen Kevin say that they will support it at some point. But until they do that, you just have to come here, download this one file, replace it in your Etch plugin, and then you should be good to go. And is it actually in, let's see here. I'm gonna pull it up just so you guys can see, because I have a question. I'll just re-download it. I'm wondering if it's in the plugin or the theme. I think it's the plugin. Here's instructions. It's in Etch classes, traits. Yeah, that I believe is in the plugin. So the problem with this is if I update, have I updated since I did that? Because if I update Etch, I would have to redo that. And I'm pretty sure I've updated. So we'll see. And for all I know, maybe Etch already updated it so that we don't need to do this. But my website's still working on the front end. So we'll see if I need to redo this process to make all this stuff work? Let's find out. We can check pretty quickly by editing our page, and I'm just going to go to my loop manager, product. Nope, I need one that's, oh, these are all JSON. Did I do any, am I looping through any post types? What do we just call this? Experience? See if we got, yeah, I need to do it again because there should be, and that's annoying because the site is live. So I have to log in. I have to do FTP. But if this was working, when we scroll down, we would see a bunch of basically ACPT data. And we're not seeing it. And we'll need to in order to access the repeater field. We could actually get the other data that we need. We could use meta.experience fields job title to get the job title. And we could do the same thing to get the company, EtchWP, and the date. And the short description should be in here. Except I don't actually see it. Did I forget to add that one as a custom field? I thought I did it. Interesting. I might need to go back and do that. But anyways, we don't have access to the repeater fields. So let's do the thing, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. It'll be easier for you to see what I'm talking about. But just remember what this looks like. And after we do the thing I'm about to do, this is going to look different. There's going to be more data here that we'll be able to play with. The reason the website is still working is because the data that I'm talking about it's already available. You could use it if you just knew what it was. The thing that I'm about to do is going to make it so that data shows up here so that we can see it and we know. Like we can see this meta, blah, blah, blah. We're going to see more data like this, and then we'll know how to use it. But technically, we could already use that data if we somehow knew what it was. So let's do it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to need to open up FileZilla here. That is not what FileZilla. There we go. And I'm going to do a little bit of this off camera. Login. Nexus. They changed a little bit their website. Liquid Web and Nexus are kind of merging into one brand, and they're sort of in the middle of that process. Let's see here. I'll probably skip through most of this when I edit this video. There we go. Goodness. All right. It's in Etch classes traits. All right. So we're going to go here, content, plugins, Etch classes. What was it? Traits. Classes traits. Yep. And it's this dynamic data.php. So then we're going to come over here, go to downloads. Where did it go? Okay, there it is. And I'm just going to click this and click upload. And it should replace that one. Yep, overwrite. And that's it. That should be all we have to do. It was a bit of a process getting there because I can't read, but we got there. Now, if I refresh this, go back to my loop manager, we'll choose this one, put our default back in here of experience. Come down here. Look at this. We have all this extra data. So we have ACPT, and then we have experience fields job title. Value is product owner. Experience fields company. Value is still our WP. So we're going to be able to use all this data in our loop. And then we're going to be able to loop through this within that loop to get these individual duties. This one, and this one. And we're going to use this post type loop right here. So let's save this. And let's do the easy part first. First of all, we'll delete this extra card. We only need one. We're going to right click, wrap in loop. The loop that we're going to choose is the one we were just looking at, post types. And we're going to use this right here. We're going to say post type is experience. We should just get one because we've only created one so far. So this is a good sign that one's showing up. If we did it wrong, then we would get nothing. But the fact that we did it correctly, the fact that we're showing a result here tells us that we did it correctly. Let's see. Count. We're going to do, how do we even do this? Comma, right? Count is -1. Actually, I'm just going to add that as the default to the loop. Let's save. Let's come here and say question mark, -1. So the default will be -1, and then we can override that if we want to, but I'm not going to. So now, to refresh my memory, let's start with the job title. That was ACPT dot experience fields job title. And I'm going to copy this because there's no chance I'll remember that. ACPT experience fields job title value should get us product owner. So let's try it. So we start with item because that's what our loop is calling each one is item. And for right here, product owner, we're going to delete that curly bracket item dot ACPT dot the thing I copied dot value. And look at that. Now it says product owner again. And then we'll add a space. And I'm actually going to copy this because it's going to be very similar for the company. Instead of job underscore title, it should just be company. There we go. That's working. And then same thing for the date. Delete that, paste this in, and change job title to date. Look at that. All three of those are working. So this is now dynamically pulling the data in versus being just hard coded in there. We'll do the same thing for this, except this is the one that I think I forgot to do. So let's go. Yeah, I didn't add the short description. So we're going to go back to ACPT, field groups. We'll edit this existing field group right here. And we just have to add, we'll come down here to the meta box. This is all kind of confusing. I don't really love this layout. Add field, short description, underscore, because reasons. Save. Now we should be able to delete this content, paste in our thing, and instead of job title, it is, what did we just call it? Short underscore description. And it won't work yet because we have to refresh. So we'll save that. And now we should hopefully have our experience fields short description. Did I do it wrong? Oh, we need to actually add it to the post. Duh. Let's go to experiences and we'll copy my short description from my actual resume. We'll edit this experience, come down here to short description, paste that in. Now, if we refresh, it should work. There it is. It's working. All right. So we did the easy ones. The next one is, it's really not that difficult, but it is a little more complicated. And the first time you do it, it can take a little thinking like, how am I going to do this? So we're going to create a loop similar to how we did this, but this loop isn't going to exist in our loop manager. We're actually just going to kind of create sort of a magic loop, I like to call it, based on this, because this is what we want to do. We want to loop through some data inside each of these items, right? So what we'll do is we'll come down here, and once again, we need to delete the extra ones. So we have all these duties. We're going to delete 2 of them, right click, wrap and loop. And this loop is going to be loop item, and we'll call this as duty because we don't want 2 items floating around. Item dot what? Well, we're going to briefly, I'll save this for now, but we're going to go look at our loop to find out some data that we need. Scroll down here, and we need to loop through item dot ACPT dot experience fields duties. And we're going to loop through this to get this piece of data and this piece of data and this piece of data. So let's go back. Item.acpt.this. And once again, the fact that we see 3 items tells us that we are on the right track. They're all the same item because we haven't made it dynamic yet, but the fact that it knows that there are 3 items, that is a good sign. We're doing something right. So now we basically just have to do the same thing we did before. So since we're inside item.acpt.experience fields duties, now we are inside right here. So now we're just looking for duty dot value. And it might be redundant because we're calling each one of these duty. So we might have to do duty dot value because we named the field duty. Does that make sense? So I think we have to do, because we named this duty, so I think we have to do duty dot value. There it is. It worked. Now there are 3 unique duties, right? And again, hopefully that made sense. So we had to do duty because that's what we named each instance of this loop, right? So that's how we, just like we did before, it was item. So we had to start each one with item dot, right? Same thing here. We decided to call each one duty. So now we're going to start with duty dot. But then it feels redundant because the data that we're looking for, the first one is also the word duty, because that's just what we named it when we created it. So it feels redundant and like we're duplicating, but we're really not duplicating. It's just that we happen to use the same word for 2 different things. So duty dot value. And that gets us the value, the content we need. So we're going to save this. We're going to look at the front end. And then what we're going to do to prove to you that this is actually working is I'm going to add another experience. Okay. So let's go back to our back end here. And for my own sake, I'm going to, because this is kind of driving me nuts, I'm going to edit this real quick. I want to bring, nope, that's not what I wanted to edit. The field group. I want to just move that short description up if I can figure out this weird UI. So short description, I want to move this up here, maybe right after this. There's company. What's after company? Is it the repeater fields? Nope, there's date. I'm going to move date up above that. Duties. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. Save. There we go. So experiences, we're going to add a new experience. This one I'm going to say owner of Apex. Scroll down here. Yeah, this is better. I like having the short description here instead of at the end. So we're going to go owner, Apex branding and design, date December 2015 to present. Short description. I don't even have a short description in my resume for this. Small branding and design agency. Owner of a small branding and design agency. There we go. Duties. I have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just start pasting these bad boys in. And that should be it. Publish. And hopefully, look at that. We did it. We're done. How's it look on mobile? Should be fine. Yeah. And this should should stack at some point. Yeah, there we go. Cool. We did it. We got ourselves a loop within a loop. And you got to see how to make ACPT work with Etch if that's something you're interested in, which I highly recommend it. As you can see, like I said, I'm not crazy about their UI. It can be a little confusing, but it works. And it's much cheaper than Advanced Custom Fields. No shade to WP Engine because it is a fantastic plugin. But, I mean, come on, for $200, one-time payment for unlimited websites. And so far, it's been able to do everything I've needed it to do. Like the repeater field, that's a pro feature of Advanced Custom Fields. So if you're thinking, well, I just use the free version of Advanced Custom Fields, that's great if you can, if you don't need the pro version. But if you want to do like a repeater field like I just did, pretty sure that's a pro feature. So I just think you owe it to yourself to give ACPT a try. I don't have an affiliate link for them or anything. I just started using them recently, and my overall experience has been positive. So I'm sharing that with you guys. But yeah, hopefully you found this useful. I think this is a very I've done it at least twice now. This loop within a loop. In fact, at least 3 times, because I did something similar with blog posts and displaying the categories that the post belongs to. So that was a loop within a loop. So yeah, this is a helpful tool, I think, to have in your tool belt. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you guys learned something, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.